Hello everybody, this is Sonya. I'm sorry I'm on here late with this, and I'm terribly sorry because I seem to let down the side all the time, me, with something happening to me or other. So I've got, I'm going to do my second page for this today. I have been looking for the things to do. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying, you know. I've got gesso all over me, but it's going to stay on me like it's no good. So I'm going to do the second page, and that's going to be this one in here. I've got stuff stuck in here because I was getting some things to work with it now. So in here today there is a flower, there's a little envelope with some sewing on it, and there's a pocket, and you can make your pocket however you want to do that, and I'll show you that when we do get this other part finished first, okay? And there's also this piece with the crochet around it. I'll do that as well. I don't know, I'll do a few today, see how much I get done anyway. So I'm going to show you now first how I got sorted out with this and the little envelope, okay? We can do the little envelope first. You don't have to do two things at a time, Sonya, one's enough. Okay, so I've got a serviette here, and I'm just going, because this is what I used, and I'm just, not this one, but one that's looks something like that, and I need something, part of the serviette that I like. Let me see that. And I don't want to pull it apart. So we're just going to make a little pocket, aren't we? It doesn't really matter how big the pocket is, does it? Because we could do a pocket with an envelope with a bird on it, couldn't we, if we wanted to? Then that makes that very big, doesn't it? Let me see now. It isn't hard at all to do. If you just, I've only just, let me see, I've got that one just turned over the flap at the top, okay? So, if I wanted to, I can use this part here. It's clear as mud, isn't it? Let me see what, I'll cut out a piece of what I want to use, okay, to the size that you would like it to be. Now this is going to be considered to be the part that you can see the most of at the front, okay, because you want to do the back as well. I did the back, so on the back this will come up there and will come over. So let me just explain it a bit better. I'll cut out a bit more of this so I can explain it to you, because I'm going to have that little bird on there. I just want to, I feel like that today. Okay, so what you need is your first piece, right? It's not very straight, but I'll fix that. Okay, now if you got yourself a particular pattern that you want to keep, you just want to fold that up there to where that is, because I'd like to keep the bird. And then I'm going to bring that down there, which I'm going to have to take a bit off because I don't want it to cover over his head, but I want it to be a little bit that you can see it's coming down over that. It's closing, okay? So now I'm going to, so what I've got here, I'm doing it so I got the picture. I'm not doing it for the, I'm going to have to turn off the heater. Just give me a second. I'll plug it. Oh dear. Get a bit hot. I'm doing this for the picture that's there. If you want to do it to a size, well, that's up to you, and then all you need to do is have your piece of serviette thing, whichever size you want it to be, okay? But I'm going to do mine like that, and I'm also going to take it over a bit because I think it needs to be a little bit smaller. I don't know if this rule has been used for, but I've got some black crap on it, haven't I? So anyway, I'll just measure this up. I'll just shape this up here so it'll look a bit better. I'll cut that on there. End of his tail and across in front of his beak. Not right fair on him, you know. You want to give him a little bit of room. Too closed in, he might feel. And then I'm just going to cut this up here to make that straight, and this side up here, because this pocket's going to be big, but that's okay because it's a different thing, isn't it? A different book I'm doing, different And now I'm going to take this part here, flip it back, turn it over like that, and cut that so both sides are equal to do this, like so. Okay, now that doesn't matter how far you turn that back, it's still not going to, see it does, because look what I did, I cut it back to, I didn't, and now that's going to have to come down there to cover over, and that'll cover over my bird. So I'm going to turn this under, look, I'm cheating as I'm going along, I'm going to turn that under there like that, and turn it down. Still got to see that bird, I still have to see that bird. So the thing was, when I turned this over, I didn't think that there was nothing behind there. I wasn't thinking that this didn't come up that far, okay? So I'm going to turn it down further. Close the envelope a bit further, right? I'm going to have a, I'm going to have to take that piece off the bottom. I don't need to have that piece on there, do I really? You know, I just thought I'd leave it there, but I don't have to. So I'm going to cut that off. Now if I cut that off, I think it's go across here, and then when I do this way again, like I just did then, I know that there is a piece of serviette behind the other serviette, behind it, like here, to cover up where I cut it out, okay, the piece that I cut out, which I need to take more because I can't see my bird properly. I just really want to see that bird. Wait a minute, I'll take a little bit off this one now. I'm just chopping him up here till I get it to fit, don't I? Sometimes that's how things have to work though, isn't it? Really? Now, I don't know, I suppose that's okay. I suppose that's alright, because I don't want to have that too small. So I'm going to keep, and the reason, maybe I should have taken this up here further so I got my whole bird in there, but don't you muck up yours like this, okay? Just let me do mine wrong and then you'll get yours right, alright? Okay, so now all we have to do is find a needle and thread. Now that's not really that hard, depends on if you live here with me or not, because I can't. Sometimes I can find a needle and thread and sometimes I can't. I'm going to do it though with something that's reasonably thick. I don't want to do it with anything too thin because you're not going to be able to see it. So therefore I don't want to just use plain cotton. I'm going to use, maybe I will, wait a minute, let's see what I've got over here. This is threaded on here, but I don't know if I want to just use that. I think I want to use something that's got some colour. Come on, where are you? I had it here before. You know how that is though, don't we? I always have everything before I start and then it all disappears on me. Right, okay. Not in there. For today's demonstration, Sonya's going to have to use... Oh dear, I hope I don't get any bad comments about my conduct while I'm on here. I'm going to use this. I've got a few, and I must have a few haters out there. What are you going to do? I mean, you know, I just deleted anything that was mean. Well, I found it to be mean, but anyway, we're not going to worry about that, and I should stop talking about it right now. Now, I have got a needle with a fairly good point on it, and I have got a good size hole in there, and I'm going to use this crochet thread, or whatever you want to use is okay. You can use cotton on yours if you want to. I'll keep fraying that if I keep doing that. Don't lick it, you're not supposed to. Remember? Makes it thick and it won't go through the hole, and I do this every time I do a video, I lick that thing. Okay, so now this is going to be the same way as that I did my the picture too that's on that piece. So I can't remember if I went across the inside of that. I don't think I did. Let me have a look at it. I could have done. Oh dear, it's out of my reach here now. No, I didn't. So I didn't actually sew across here, but I sewed all the way around. So I'm going to start down here in the corner and I'm going to go on the inside. Now, it's not that hard to sew this sort of thing. You just have to be careful, okay? You have to be careful because it's No, yes, that doesn't want to go through there. That's just not good. I thought that was a fairly pointy needle. No, it doesn't like it. I might be just being a bit careful because I don't want it to wreck it. Okay, so I'm just going to do a blanket stitch around here, and I'm going backwards. But it doesn't matter because I do things like that. I wonder why that won't go through there. That mustn't be sharp enough. That's ridiculous. Actually, it isn't very pointy, is it? Now I might have to change my plan here because I need something that's... Oh, this one is cool. This one is good. It should go through. I don't know why that... Maybe that one's just not sharp enough, and I should get my good scissors, which I put here and couldn't see them for looking. And that'll cut better. Righto. Now, I don't think I'll get through that hole. I will not, surely. Anyway, we'll have another go. Right, that won't work. Okay, so this is going down to the down the drain. That's not going to work for me this morning. Let's try this here, okay? Let's have a go at the white thread. Alright, we'll just do it with this. Maybe it'll be better because it might go through without making too big of a hole in the piece of work. Anyway, doesn't matter what you do with it. I suppose it's your choice. I just thought if I did it with something a bit thicker, you'd be able to see it, but I'm hoping that you can. I've got two things of thread there. I pulled out 2 out of the 6 because they're 6-stranded thread that I use, and I just got 2 strands because that'll be thick enough. Just probably 2 of ordinary sewing thread anyway, that is. Okay, now put a knot. We don't want it to come through, but we need to be really careful because we don't want the knot to also... I'm going to do it on this. I don't want to do it back to front. I'll do it here this way. Righto, so this won't be back to front. Now that went through there a lot easier because if you were to shove that through there, that's only going to make it really hard to sew and keep it in, you know, under control. Now you just come up here level with where you come out and then go under there. This is just like a blanket stitch. And I'm throwing it around here in all directions. But I like to see where it's going to work good. Okay, now I've done this stitch before and showed you, but I'm hoping that this is not going to be too hard to see on this piece of fabric, you know, with this piece of... Very, very gently, and it won't wreck it, okay? Very gently. Like a lot of times when we use these things to use on our work, we pull the different layers apart. Well, you're not going to do that this time. You can't see that. Oh, maybe you can. I'll just get back up here a bit further. You just want to go down in there and come up around here, okay? That's how you do this. Down in there. I'll make the things on the pages, you know, like I showed you, but I may not put it together exactly the same as the one I did because I really want to, you know, make it a little bit different for my own one. Sense that makes a bit of sense. Now this is not really small, but I don't think it's too big. It's getting on the verge of being too big. Okay, but that's how you do it now, and this is how you make your stitches because we sewed this together. If you want to, you can glue it first, or you can glue it anyway. But the idea was to do bits of work on what we're doing, so we can learn things as we go. Okay, and that's what. Well, I like to make some sort of decoration or other on everything that I make anyway. So you just come around here, you're going to keep going up around the top, and we'll just go all the way so we don't have to stop at all. I can't pause this and I can't figure out how to come back, and I'm sorry about that because I get so frustrated with the fact that if you've got to edit it, it takes so long. So I hope you don't mind that I'm just all natural. And I will bring myself back on here and show you. There's something out there, the sun's shining and everything, and I can't go. Oh well, I can probably go out in the sun, but I can't go up the street. My husband said, "It won't be very good if you faint and fall off your scooter." I'm not going to do that. But anyway, he's been very protective and he's looking after me very well. I'm very, very lucky because there was a time when he was a bit busy. No, but now, I don't know, he takes very good care of me. Anyway, so that goes around there, and it's going to come down along here. You just want to be more careful than ever. Just carefully go through that. It's not something that you can rush, really. You've got to take your time with it. So I'm going to just do a couple more stitches with my, sorry about my hands, the little sticky stuff on them. And not sticky stuff with all that gesso on them, but I've been doing it. I'm going to do a couple of videos today, so I really want you to know I'm still here, and I do care about putting up things. I worried so bad about not putting this up, you know. I just couldn't believe it. Just stressed me out so much. I thought it'd be better, might make myself better quicker if I go and do this. Okay. Don't like to let people down, and it seems to be something that happens to me without my, you know, my approval. I don't want. Oh, I said you'd only be sick for about a week with this thing. Well, I better hurry up now. It should be better. But anyway, so that's what that's going to look like. And you know what? If I was, you know, doing this again, which I'm not going to, because I'd either use the colour that's in that bird, or I'd use a grey like the birdie, or a little bit of yellow, you know, and that'll just bring out the bird, you know, really well. If I pull that undone, it might wreck it. So I'm just going to leave that the white, and maybe I might just thread something through here that will coordinate that other, okay? And I'll show you how to do that after. So when you're doing your picture, like the picture that's in here, I've got to keep this book back down here. When you're going to do this picture that's in here, like there's a picture, I just, for that, I've just got a piece of card, because it was easier to sew around the card. So what you do, when I say, you know, like, instead of using something really thin, because we're doing that there, okay, and then when we get around to the bottom, we'll do a little button on that. And you can make it a little tiny one, like so, if you want to. See here, this is where I'm going up around there, okay. Now, the picture that's here, all I did for that was I got a picture, and I've got a couple here that I was thinking about, but I might use this because it was a colouring in that I don't know whether I did it or my daughter did. One of us did it. One of us did this little colouring in, and I thought this looks really cool. I don't know whether I'm going to put it on the second page in my book, but that doesn't matter, does it? We're not going to be holding me to that, are we? Because I've already done that page. But I'll need a piece of card, and I'm going to use a bit of that I had before here with me for that box I was doing. Actually, I might use this. I don't know what this is off. Anyway, I'm going to use this piece of this tag. I don't mind. It's my tag. If I want to do that, well, I can, see, can't I? So I'm going to cut that to. I'll stick this on first. Let's stick this on here first. Me colouring in. You can put whatever. I was thinking about doing that, putting these girls on there. That might look all right too, though, because that's more in tradition with the front bit. I don't know. I just want to use the colouring in. Okay. I just wanted to use the colouring in for this one. All right. Now, if you can't crochet, don't worry, because on this one we're not going to. If you can crochet, you can crochet around it, alright? And if you can't crochet, you can just do what I'm about to do, alright? I'll show you this way, because I don't want people to feel like they've got to be left out because they can't do, you know, bits. It's not easy, it's not hard to learn, but I can surely show that. I don't know if I've done any. I did knitting, didn't I? I can do crocheting. Where's that other old piece of pair of scissors here? I'm going to cut this across here. I've got my picture. Okay. Now you can put whatever you want to put on yours. You know, there's no. You can put one of your family photos on it, because that'd look really nice, wouldn't it? It's just my way of decorating it. Now, I will show you first, well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that on there, and then I'm going to stitch. No, I'm not going to stitch around it, But I would have done, okay, I would have stitched around there if I was going to crochet, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to put a nice piece of, I don't know, let me see, bit of stuff, nice piece of ribbon, lace, something nice that'll look good, make it sit out really nicely, because if you can't crochet, then you can just do this, okay, and you give me a second till I pip in the drawer. I'll pip in my drawer here. I'll show you these later. These drawers. What I've done. I think I might put this around there. This one here. Around the outside of it. Really simple. I mean, you know, we can all, and that will look good? I think so. It's got a little edge that comes over the side, so I think that'll look nice. Oh, now I've got everything rolling undone here. Stay over there, you. I'll just give you an idea too then how to crochet onto it, okay? But I'm going to put this onto this one today because I want to, I guess. Maybe this is all I can manage, I don't know. I feel like into so we're going to put that so it comes over the edge and it gives it a trim like that, okay. Now if I turn it, I'm going to cut them bits off then. Alright, so I'm going to take this up here and puff and glue pot again. There we go. Right. So I'm going to look at the camera, see what the time is, and then we're going to learn to crochet, okay? Because I think it's something that I can deal with. Look, if I got a crochet hook in here, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have? Now I'm sure everybody, maybe everybody cannot just work out what to do with things if they don't know stuff. So this was just the idea that I had and what we could do with it to. I probably didn't go close enough to the edge, and my glue is pretty good. I can just still maneuver things. Alright. And I do try to teach people that haven't done much crafting to people who know a lot about it, because it should be something for everybody, I think. Hey, to look at. Well, you can if you can. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be, does it? I mean, that's I've noticed I've got a real lot of subscribers, and a lot of people don't have YouTube channels, and therefore a lot of people might not know how to do a lot of these things. And it's good to learn and figure out what to be helped with, what's got to be done, or what can be done to make things work how you want them to be. Now that's going to muck me up really badly. I'm not happy with that at all, so I'm going to stick something over it. You see, because it got square, didn't it? Seriously, Sonya, really? I'm going to cut that off there, try and make it so it's not square. Now don't get upset, because if you start getting upset and panicking and that, you'll start to cough. Okay, so now she's got that pretty thing around her. Now I'm needing something else, because I'm not happy with that, and I need to tell you that because I need to bring out something from her clothing and put around here, you know, just to give it a lift. So that I'm going to look at in a minute. While you can sit there and look at that, I can see if I can find a crochet hook. I've got a big giant one. This'll oh no, I better not do that. Well, it'd probably be better if I did. You might be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to do it with this orange piece. We've got 2 crochet hooks here. I'm going to give it a go anyway. See, so if you were doing around the edge of this like that, you would go on and you would be picking up those pieces there and pulling your wool through, okay? So which I wish I had put on something else to show you on for demonstration purposes. Let me see. I never looked to see what time it was either, did I? It was a bit silly. Okay, let's learn to crochet. Okay, so what you do is to make, I just wrap that around that and makes a little loop. Okay, so you're going to go under there and pull that back. While holding on to this with these two fingers, you can achieve so much if you hang on to it, because if you don't hang on to it, it won't work. You go around there and pull it back through. Now this is called a chain stitch, okay? And that's pretty basic. That's what you start with as your base for most things that you do. Most things is a chain, okay? Now we can envision, of course, that this is the chain stitch, and I'm going to teach you how to use your imagination. You can imagine that these chain here are those stitches across the top of there, all right? So what you do is for a, you want to come up and go into one of your stitches, right? But first you're going to loop one of these bits around here, go down into your stitch, come and get it again, pull it back, go through, go round, come back through two, and go round and come back through two. And that is called a treble in Australia, and I don't know where else, but it's probably called a single crochet somewhere else. Okay, so you want to go round there, go down and pick up one of your chains, that's that bit there, just that part of it, or your stitches off the paper, come back through there, go underneath and draw it back, go underneath and draw it back. Whatever you do, just hang on to this bit, because if you've got control of that bit, you're pretty much right, you know. You just need to hang on to this bit. Go round there, down into your chain, come and pick one up, pull it back through, take it round, pull it back through two, and round and back through two. If this cuts off, I'm sorry, but I'm teaching you how to crochet, and then I'll say toodaloo and I'll be back next time. Okay, so go round there and down through there. We'll keep going, I guess, until it cuts out. What do you reckon? I don't know. It might be, could have a jumper. Okay, or not. Go round to there, down through here, and pull it back, come up and down, and come back through there. Now, when I did around the card, I probably only did a single crochet. Well, see, that's a treble. See, and you've got, this is what you end up with, all right? So when I did around the card, I'm going to have another look, because I've forgotten whether I did. Oh, it's got a little peak on it and everything. Yeah, we'll do that later for you. So I can turn this way now, because I'm pretending. No, let's go across the bottom. Let's go right across here with these, because everybody can learn to do one of these, all right? Because then I can teach you flowers and things later on down the track. Because we've still got a flower to do on that page, but it's made out of tulle. So I'll get some tulle and make a flower, and I'll come back and do that shortly. But maybe wait till next week, just depends, see how I feel. Okay, so now to do a single crochet in Australia, right, we just pick up this part of our last piece of work. You catch one, bring it back, catch one, go through two, go through there, catch one, bring it back, catch one, bring it through two, go through there. When I'm saying catch one, you wrap it around your wall and go back and come through there again. Now this is pretty easy. It just depends. You know what happens? Practice is how it works. If you sit down and just keep doing this over and over, it'll just keep coming back to you. But if you go away and you leave it for 6 months, and then you can't think, oh, I forgot how to do that. So you just go down in there and come back and do that there like so, okay? And then you've got a smaller row, right? So that's how I picked up each one of those and made the piece on the end. But I did a picket thing, and the people who know the crochet can do one of those, because we won't worry about showing you that for the time being. So we're just going to do another lot of these trebles. So if you want to do a treble and you want to do your side bit, you want to come up three of these chains. So you've got chains. So it looks like a chain, doesn't it? There you go. And then you want to go round, down in through, pick up your first one. Okay, pull it back through there,